Oh, I should turn off my video. do, 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 do.
You can't hear me. Then
Okay.
you
I hear you, so I should warn you that we are live.
Yeah, can you not cut off of the beginning anymore, or was that just a misplaced thing?
I'm sorry, I was turning off the echo. Can you say that again, please?
I asked it 3 times. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, can you cut it
That's
off?
not resilience.
Can you cut it off the beginning? Because
Yeah,
last
the part where we're figuring shit out, I absolutely can do that.
Did you do that last time?
No, I can still go back and do that and re-upload it. That's not a that doesn't even take that long, I think.
Right. I'm just checking because you didn't do it last time. Drink some more water.
Great, it's got my face right on it. All right, so my coffee is done, so I'm gonna go get that so I can start drinking it.
Yeah.
And then I'll start grabbing my notes from the what's it from the Discord that I sent you on the HVAC stuff.
Here we go. Chaos.
Okay, I'll be back in a second.
Okay, I'll stop this. This has already been going an hour. Wait, no. I'm just confused. I think it's still on. Ah! Fuck. I hate technology. Did you say something about Discord? I'm just gonna puff matches.
Actually, I'm gonna have to turn off the, or I'm actually gonna have to cut the first part of this, whether I like it or not, because I think it doxed me.
I doxed you?
No, I think I did.
How?
Because I think, well, aside from showing my face, and you can see that's like the first thing you see when you go on the blog poster.
Yeah.
It's not like I've never had my face on my blog, but what kind of SJW is going to go crawling through my archives anyway? I'm just not that important. But I think I might have changed my name on the screen. Or that might have been before. I can't remember now.
Okay, well, my food's going to be here pretty soon.
We're good. Make sure you turn on your video so we can watch you eat. Big Time Tommy. That person reminds me of another person. Okie dokie.
You're far. Yeah, your face is still up.
I'm not going to fix that ahead of time.
It's kind of covered, so the AIs can see, but no one else could be able to. Okay, don't play. Don't. No, Dad. I need to not do that.
Why can't I see how many people are watching? Oh, never mind. It's because nobody was watching that it wasn't showing anybody watching. But now that I'm watching, it's cool.
I can get on my computer and watch it.
Man, I was optimistic back in the day.
What?
So, man, I was optimistic back in the day.
About what?
HVAC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Aha.
Hey, there. My food's here, so I'll go eat about as quickly as I can, and I'll come back.
Okay. Hold down the fort. I could just figure out a way to use a computer. Then, you'd be like, best. Less. Wait a second. I logged in. I could chat. This just might work. Man, look at that. I've got shit figured out. I'm chatting in my own live stream. I hope if there are people watching, like already, we're not started quite yet, so I'm not ready to entertain you. Shit. But still, these are good notes. So it doesn't embed. Let's see how that works. Crazy. All right, that's all the notes I need for that one. Didn't have time to do the type A bit. It's probably loud as fuck. Mm. Okay. Check out my audio professional skills. Which one is this? Of course I deleted it. Fucking retard. Yeah. That'll have to do. So timestamp 3130. Classy. That'll work. All right, it is 7 p.m. and I am by myself. And nobody's watching. So I guess there's no reason not to just wait. I should probably not have that directly next to the microphone. My boomer tech. Actually, I need to figure out a way to test whether this is going to come through. Hmm.
Ugh.
Hey, is that the sound of satisfaction with a wonderful dinner?
It was a very wonderful dinner, but I feel like shit.
Is that a change from before?
Man, don't make me think.
Isn't that what tobacco's for? How many of the people watching is you?
One.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure we got lucky last week.
could be. It was a very novel thing.
Yeah, and
I also don't know how it records who's watching. Like maybe it's gonna miss some. If somebody's watching the thing on the blog. I tried to make it just the link, but I couldn't figure it out.
yeah.
I suppose I could work on it. Because maybe if somebody's watching it through the embedded version, it just
How do I kill my audio?
you
Turn it
like,
off a little
looks
bit.
like a microphone. Like every other chat app ever.
No, I mean my audio coming in.
So that you don't hear anything?
Yeah, whatever, I'll just go the long way. Hmm. Well, actually, when I think about it,
Now it's just a link. So hopefully nobody was trying to listen in through the embedded so that we weren't able to see that they're watching.
okay, here we go.
Did you thumb us down?
What?
Did you give us a thumbs down?
Did I?
Yeah,
No.
somebody did.
Good. Means they're watching. That's some real melon ideology right there. I don't care if they thumbs it down, as long as they're watching more.
That's basically the case I made to somebody the other day who was trying to put together a sharing platform for expertise versus popularity. I was just explaining this to Ken earlier, but I might as well explain it again because now there might even be somebody there. So what I was telling him is you can't make a competence-based like information sharing forum with a likes thing, which gives people a reputation, because that's Reddit. And so I was explaining this in the context of trying to make ventilators. So Trump told GM to make ventilators, right? Completely didn't work because GM is dysfunctional. It's a bunch of old men who don't remember how to do new things and just want to copy paste old projects and sit on their pensions. Reddit can't do it either, because if Donald Trump had gone to Reddit and said, hey, design me an open source ventilator, they would have come up with the best Bill Nye video on how ventilators are made and then not actually done any like designing and shit, because all the people who actually do shit would have been ratioed to the bottom of the pile and never would have been seen, because reputation does not track with the usefulness the usefulness of your technical information. But if he had told 4chan to make a ventilator and say, let's make America great again, 4chan, design me an open source ventilator, they would have had it done in 3 days. Guaranteed.
Oh, but they would have said nigger.
Well, that's sort of the problem, isn't it? If you have a reputation-based system, then basically people are going to weaponize the reputation system because that's what happens with every reputation system. And the people who are not as good at playing the reputation system, the reputation game, are going to get ratioed, or they're going to get ignored, or the most likely thing is their ideas are going to get taken and then popularized, and then they'll be like destroyed by the copyright process, right? That's basically how it works now. If you do something, then somebody comes along, takes it, and then sues you for copyright because it's a preemptive defense thing.
Yeah, was I the one who told you about that?
Yes.
Yeah. I got that from a video by Jörg Sprav. He's the creator of the Slingshot channel on YouTube and a prolific inventor. So,
well, it's good to know if you ever invent something. So the way I told the guy that you have to design this thing is a combination of 4chan, and since he wanted to do blockchain on it, and all blockchain means is you're signing for things just with using cryptography instead of signature that hopefully some graphologist from 1850 can say, yep, that's definitely his signature. That's literally the exact same thing. So anytime you hear somebody say blockchain, they're saying this is an application where we would have used signatures in the past, but now we're using cryptography because it scales better. So anyway, if you're going to do blockchain on this problem, what you got to do is have people sign for the links that they open, and then do your Amazon predictive algorithm thing on who's opening what to see what people are actually curious in. If you give people a reputation system where they can like, dislike, they can game it and you do the thing where they ratio the person who's actually the one that they stole their ideas from. They can ratio that person to the bottom and then ratio each other so that you got a circle jerk going that goes to the top. But what you do instead is have the curiosity, so what people actually are looking at, where they're what the information they actually want. And that's a sort of reputation that actually works, is people going, this looks like something good to me. I'm going to click that, and then you just have their browser sign off anytime they click on that with that blockchain thing.
Hey, isn't it interesting how much more functional people are when they actually cooperate face to face? Like, isn't it interesting how that would just like solve almost all this?
Well, it's because there's that possibility of being punched in the face, absent the state's monopoly on violence. But I mean, even though we aren't allowed to do that anymore, that still keeps people pretty much in line because it's instinctive, right? You don't generally think about it in those terms. It's just this feeling like I'd better be polite because I don't want this to go south. Anyway, I think I was done describing the thing. Basically, if you do the Amazon predictive algorithm on that blockchain chain of signatories thing, then it does a bit where it's like you might also like this, and then you figure out where the good information is actually coming from. What was I talking about that got me off on that with the ventilators and the something about it doesn't matter. So now that there's a person watching, what should we actually talk about?
No, that's me.
Are there two of you?
There's one of me.
Well, there you go.
How many people? 3. Oh,
There
yeah,
are 3 watching.
Yeah, you're right.
I am right. All right. So I assume you didn't have anything that you wanted to talk about in particular. I could just launch straight into preachy mode with the HVAC stuff.
Yeah, I wanted somebody to show up and interact because I didn't want to like waste all my time for something no one's going to listen to.
You're on the wrong podcast.
No, last time loads of people showed up.
4 people showed up.
That's relatively loads compared to anyone.
And then, like, probably 20 people watched it after the fact or listened to it. If it were me, I would have downloaded the audio. Anyway, There's nobody here, so we have to come up with our own content.
Okay. HVAC sucks. It's a scam. It's a mafia. They're gonna break your unit and then make you pay an exorbitant price to replace it because that's how they make all their money. That's pretty much it.
But what about the good ones?
There's no good ones.
Why aren't there
Except
good
there
ones?
are. There are. They're just rare. I mean, I know a guy who's good, right? Solid guy. You just gonna have to find them. And if they're like an actual company, they're pretty much all bad, at least according to him. And according to my experience, that's true. You know, because the two local contractors here who are the biggest ones, one of them they both tried to screw me actually for over, 50,000.
Yikes.
Yeah, for completely unnecessary unit replacements. In fact,
Well, that's
the
what
old
they're bonused
units,
on, I understand. Like
yeah,
service techs and sales and the like.
yeah, they make their money on replacements, not on service. And so they have the incentive to always push replacement. I've been told that, the old units up at this building in question actually operate better than the new replacement ones anyway, because, well, of course, for
Because
some reason,
everything's going to be shit now that it's made in China. Because
I mean, even if it's not, it's just like, if you've ever had one of those really old fridges, like they never ever break, right? One of those really, really old washers or dryers. They don't really break. It's interesting how like the stuff from literally the 60s and 70s
will
would
last
keep
longer than
working.
the stuff made yesterday.
Yeah. And it's obviously intentional. I don't think we really need to go into this, but since I'm ranting anyway, it's this idea of planned obsolescence where cars are made out of like fucking, powderized fucking aluminum that's compressed together, and everything's designed to break after X amount of use so that it can be replaced and the company makes more money, right?
I'd argue it's not obvious that it's planned obsolescence versus simple incompetence, which I can give an example of that from car industry. But you got a good rant going.
I think it's both. Okay, what's sitting over there is a 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville d'Elegance, which has multiple hundreds of thousands of miles on it. And it's, fucking solid, right? Fucking V8, all steel, chrome. Like if someone crashes into you, they're the ones who are going to die. What else to say? That kind of shit. I'm going to sound like a boomer, but they just don't make them like they used to, right?
That's the part I think. So obviously some of it's going to be planned obsolescence, but yeah, they on the other hand, they just don't have the competence institutionally to make them like they used to. So an example being the new trucks. Don't get the new trucks. Not that anybody who would be listening to this would, but none of them pass the leak tests, and they're all going to break down. Like what it means when something doesn't pass the leak tests is they didn't get the tolerances right. That's bad news. I mean, that means that things are geometrically not in the places they're supposed to be. And it's like that with a lot more cars these days. Some of them are just costed down versions of other ones. And you would only know that by reputation because they only do that. Like anytime they try to make an affordable car, they always cost that down and get the shittiest possible parts that they know are going to break. And it's like within 6 months you start having problems with the cost of down cars because they know that's for the people in the inner cities. But aside from that, there's the tolerances thing is just a lack of competence. Those are supposed to be flagship products because that's where they make their money. $75 a pop.
I don't know which one came first. Was it, hey, we're going to consciously make inferior products that don't last as long, so our margins are better, and we, have to do replacements, and then that culture of not making great shit just ruined everything. I don't know where the causality is here.
I
Of course,
suspect that the costing down came first because of the way the auto industry has been financialized. I can't say with the HVAC stuff. It's probably the same story everywhere, honestly. Where you put a bean counter in charge of things, and they're going to start looking at places where they can cut corners.
Well, I think it's a systemic problem with HVAC is that even if you make the units like, about as crappy as you can, you will only make the majority of your money from replacements. It's just you can't Jew people enough to run a business on moving this big fat metal panel from here to there and changing a coil, right? Like there's not enough money.
Yeah, cutting holes in walls and putting ductwork through, and people are gonna be like, "What do you mean you want $2,000 for that? That's a $200 job."
Yeah, so it's a systemic incentive. It's probably one of the worst of any in any industry. I'm sure there's one that's just horrible somewhere, right?
Well, we have discussed between the two of us before that a big part of the problem is that it's in a black box, and people can't tell whether you actually did any of the work that you said you did.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Versus something like if you fuck up the tile in somebody's bathroom as a contractor, they're gonna walk in there and be like, "What's this?"
Oh yeah, I mean,
they have no idea what's going on inside that thing.
Like when it comes to honest people, those dudes are by and large honest people. I have a moderate amount of experience with them, and it makes sense because they have to be, because you can see their work. Now there obviously are plenty of shitty ones because you hear about horrible work that was done all the time. But most of the time, the horrible work, if you dig into like, hey, what happened? It's the guy in charge wanted to cut corners, right? It's not that the people themselves, and you can say, oh, they were bad because they followed the orders, but again, they're not actually on average usually that bad.
Right. For them, it's a choice between their shitty job or not having a shitty job.
Yeah, and then you have to factor in that there's plenty of times that the people who actually built something themselves literally said to them, hey, build it cheap and shitty. And then they're just bitching for no reason. There's plenty of that. And they understood, like, okay, up at this building, the fucking windows aren't effectively sealed, Like everything was done wrong. And it's fucking, they're not even allowed to make buildings like this anymore with the drive it is what it's called. There's like this foam board plaster like shit. Anyway, so it was all conscious, and the only reason he was bitching about it is because he's trying to sell the building, like that was all on him, the guy in question who commissioned the construction. There's something a while back, I forgot what it was, something related to this that was interesting.
Well, while you think about that, I'll explain.
Oh, I remember. The closest thing to HVAC in terms of its incentive structure is probably auto repair, and it's the exact same thing. Like they intentionally overcharge you. They find things that need to be fixed. They break new things when they fix your thing.
Where at least that one they were able to fix by regulating it and turning it into an insurance thing, which has not happened with HVAC. Like you can find really good mechanics now, especially in rich areas, who will not rip you off. They just do good work fast. But it used to be all of them. It used to be a cultural thing.
Yeah, and
there's still
a problem
in a lot of areas.
It's still a problem. It's just not like HVAC. It's absolutely like just a pure culture thing. So HVAC's definitely worse than, oh, I need my car repaired and I'm worried that they're going to break 10 things. It's going to cost me like $5,000. Like HVAC, it's way more expensive too. Like, oh wow, suddenly your unit needs replacing. It's like, oh, that's $15,000 right there. Oh, I think we need to replace 4 of them. Yeah, we need to replace all of them. I look a little closer at them. You know, and they're old. You know, did you know that? Did you know they were old?
5 years. Thank you. I am very funny.
No, they really might say something like that.
I remember asking one of my neighbors is a service tech, and I was asking him, should I go into sales in this field? It's like, yeah, you can make a lot of money. It's like, yeah, but I want to be honest. It's like, oh, well, it can be done, but it's really hard. It's like, I don't think I'm that good of a salesman.
Yeah. Yeah, the worst part about it is, so I can tell my story. So, you know, up here at this building in question, you know, two different companies say, oh, all these units need replacing. And so I'm called up there for the second company, you know, because I already knew the first one was a crock of shit. And so I'm talking.
I'm going to get a second opinion. I am a savvy customer.
And so the secretary's up there with this like 6'7" guy, you know, he's the HVAC salesman guy, right? And he talks really loud and he acts like he's the shit, you know, and this like impresses normal people. And, you know, she's just so worried, right? She's just so worried that like oh, there's not going to be air conditioning. Oh no, all these really expensive pieces of medical equipment are just going to go out at any time, you know? And, you know, I'm just like smiling, you know, like listening to his shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that's really interesting, you know, but I think you can leave now. I'll think about it. And he's just kind of like, you know, he doesn't even know how to process that. Like, I'm supposed to be afraid, right? I'm supposed to be really scared. I'm like, oh, you know, I think I'll have someone else look at it, you know, so you can go now. And of course, you know, I had the good guy who, you know, I know from my parents and, you know, very, very good person. And he looks at it all and he's like, oh, they're not doing anything. Like neither of these companies is cleaning the coils, which is the most important service thing you can do. They're not flushing it out. They're not doing anything. Like this is just a total fucking scam. And the guy wanted me to replace all the units for like $75,000. You know, and it's urgent, needs to be done now. So that was like more than a year ago, you know, and nothing has been done to the units. Oh, and they guess what? They work great, better than ever because they were cleaned. They were actually cleaned. So that's all I really have to say about HVAC is don't fucking trust them.
So, do you have any experience with people in the other trades, or is HVAC just the worst of the bunch?
I've never really been screwed by anyone else, but the only other stuff I've had to deal with is just straightforward, like, you know, like you said, the tile stuff. It's stuff that you can't really bullshit.
Okay. And I haven't ever gotten a contractor for any reason because I've never owned or managed property or anything. So I got nothing in terms of real world experience. All I got is anecdotes from other people.
I think that's pretty much all there is to say about HVAC, though. There's still one person
I could
watching.
I've got all these notes.
Oh, sure. I mean,
one poor asshole out there.
I'm relaxing, smoking my cigar, and someone is having a fun time learning about the vagaries of the HVAC industry.
After their Fortnite stream ended, and they just didn't turn it off.
This is like
the ad that comes on before the next video.
Yeah. Well, you know, you didn't say 7 o'clock Eastern.
That's true.
That's why I put it in the comments. They might not know what 7 o'clock means.
I mean, 7 o'clock Yankee supremacy time. There are no other time zones.
I don't know about that.
Well, that's why you're down there in the swamp, and Donald Trump is going to drain you.
I'm not in fucking New Orleans.
All right. So I want to read off. Do you remember that good comment on that old thread where somebody said, "I thought HVAC techs make a good money. What happened?"
And everyone's just like, hell no, they don't.
Everybody's just like, "Well, if you weren't so entitled and unskilled, then I would pay you more." And then the other people would be like, "Well, if these business owners weren't so stingy, then maybe we would be better."
Yeah, I remember that thread. It was like literal hell.
Yeah. So I want to read off that good comment, but I thought I'd mention that this is a case where bad business drives out good, which is why all of the companies are going to be bad, 99.9%, is because in a field where everybody is a crook, good business can't survive. You can't compete if you aren't doing the same kind of shit, because they're going to have all the nice things, and you're going to be in your mom's basement trying to convince people that, no, you're actually the good ones. And people are going to be like, well, why am I meeting in your mom's basement, though? So anyway, that's the basic problem. So here's a guy, commissioned technician in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I received a bachelor's in business management in 1973 from the University of South Florida. I received a second bachelor's degree in 1981 from USF in ETK, engineering technology. I received certifications in Hale Quaker, heat pump operation, fossil fuel certification, EPA universal certification, and airflow certification for the next several years, and worked as a commissioned service technician in both residential and commercial. I also worked in commercial refrigeration for over 10 years. I worked in these fields from 1978 through 2004. However, the business began to change from commissioned techs to salaried techs around 2001, and the company I was working for, earning around $150,000 a year, went bust due to the divorce of the owners, and I went job seeking. I found that the AC companies were trying to hire me for great salaries around $45,000 a year, which was ridiculous. So I started working for myself and was doing great, earning around $250,000 a year from 2001 through 2004. And I broke my neck in an auto accident. I could no longer do the work, so I applied for it and received it. Still receiving SSDI. I saved quite a bit of money and inherited some, so I do not need to work now. However, my point is that the industry stinks now, since it is possible to work for a company as a commissioned tech now, and larger companies don't pay more than $25 an hour unless you are lead tech or in management. If I needed to go back to work now, I could easily earn $100 an hour by running ads and doing my own calls. It is stupid for technicians to work for these AC companies because they have ruined the industry by hiring tech school grads for $10 an hour, which is what I've seen ads for, and then using them to run calls at $150 an hour for the company. Nowadays, the best techs out there have to work for themselves or they make nothing. We used to make over $100,000 a year. I will show tax returns to anyone who does not believe, or you can ask older techs who remember the good days. Don't let these companies rip you off.
Yeah, so that's like the entirety of our civilization in one microcosm.
Yeah. I don't know if it's precisely the same in the other trades, but from talking to kids, it appears to be becoming a rich kid thing. Like it's mostly kids from the Catholic schools, which is the white people version of rich schools. Like you know you're a rich kid if you're either going to a Catholic school in a city or you're Jewish. And so the Catholic kids are going to the tech schools now and filling that up. So this may be an example of that case selection that the peoples are always talking about, where the people from the higher class families start coming down in their socioeconomic status and driving out the people that used to be there. So there's basically nowhere for these lower middle class income kids to go now. So that sucks, because we're basically it's just the same problem that white people have always had, where they will always retreat until they run out of people to be their shield. So they don't appear to mind that the lower middle class people who, in defense of the rich people, lower middle class people are shit and horrible to be around. But I don't think they deserve to die. I don't think they deserve to starve in the streets. But yeah, they just don't seem to mind. For them, it's just competition against their own people. Which, hey, since we're so powerful, Why would we even need to worry about competing with other groups? As the birth rate dies and the population dips below 50% of the West, like as we're actually being killed, this is happening. Anyway, this is getting really off topic, but the basic thing is, I remember hearing back in the days that all the really smart kids, this is one of those copes where people are like, the smart people aren't smart. What the real smart people do is they go make money in the trades now. They make six figures as electricians and HVAC people, and that is not true anymore. It's not even a little true. You can make money in the trades if you own the business, but that's not the same as what these people are telling you. There aren't those job postings where they're like 6 figures for 10 years experience tech. That doesn't exist. You might find that if you are part of a union.
Yeah.
But increasingly, those don't exist anymore. It's very rare. And again, that's where the rich kids go because they actually have family connections.
Here's another real world example. We're probably going to delete the stream, right?
Assume no.
Okay, I'll assume no, so I'll only say limited details. Okay, I knew a guy who had been offered a contract to pressure wash literally all of the Jack's restaurants in Alabama, which I can quickly look that up. Actually, so just give me a minute.
How do you figure out how many there are? I don't know how to Google that.
I just looked up how many, and that didn't bring up.
Oh, here we go. There's 182 in the Southeast, opening at a rate of 15 per year.
Anyway, there's like I don't know, fucking 50 or 80 or it's a lot, right? It's a fucking lot throughout Alabama. Of course, they're from Alabama.
Yes.
Anyway, they were going to pay him and the guy who was going to help him $70,000 roughly each to do all of them.
Okay, that's a pretty good rate because you're...
No. To do all of them every month.
Oh.
So what that looks like...
Including winter? Oh, I guess you don't really have winter.
So what that looks like is two guys with like fucking, $50,000 plus of gear.
Oh, I was going to say with a toothbrush and their dicks in their hands.
Hello?
Did I tell you that it feels like an enormous faggot to tell people that you're live streaming?
Did I tell you that I know?
I knew that you knew, but you didn't tell me.
Yeah, and I can't ask people to care either because there's only one person watching anyway. Maybe it might just be a glitch, honestly. So
I don't see anybody chatting. Last time we had chatters. Nobody texting me. There's nobody.
To be fair though, last time we were talking for a long, long time, just bullshitting before we ever got down to business.
That's true. Nobody showed up for like 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And also, we had Lizard King.
Well, he said he was reading a book at the time. He was only half paying attention.
Yeah, I can't blame him. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So
okay.
what?
Two
that
guys,
looks like
pressure washing equipment, $50,000 worth, driving around in a truck or some shit, hitting 80 times 12 locations a year.
So 2 trucks with 50 grand worth of shit. So $100K capital investment and literally working night and day, staying in motels with massive fucking motel bills, and basically driving constantly across the entire state.
All right, so splitting the difference, 12 times 75 is 900 restaurant hits per year, which means 3 a day, basically.
Yeah, and you know, a couple hours each, and then the driving. You know, you can do the
70 grand. I assume that doesn't include expenses like hotels every night.
yeah, or
So you're
food,
basically doing it at cost.
or a shitload of gas because you're driving like, you know, big ass fans with not just a normal pressure washer, but we're talking like, you know, you're going to have a giant tank with at least a couple hundred gallons of water, and then you're going to have a heater so that you don't have to use chemical if you don't have to, because there are certain ordinances against using chemical. And
All right.
if you're putting the wastewater into the city sewer system, that can be literally a felony, depending on what you're using.
Okay.
So like we're talking like basically this is just the rawest deal you can imagine, really. And even then, the guy didn't get it. It went to someone who got paid even less.
I assume with Mexican labor.
Yeah, and just, you know, a big company.
That can spread those costs out
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that all their workers are getting state benefits and paying them cash under the table.
Yeah, something like that. So it's
I'm just guessing from the landscaping business, which holy shit. Anyway, so what you're getting at is even lowballing at the lowest possible where you're doing it at cost. You can't get the business for the same. So what do you remember what the point of that story was?
you I think you asked me something about other trades.
Okay. I interviewed with a landscaping guy once. I tried a couple places when I was looking around for interim work before I settled on the coding thing. And the guy basically talked me out of it over about an hour and a half. He refused to say what he was going to pay. He refused to say that he was going to hire. He's like, "Yeah, you should work for cash for a little bit and see if we like each other." He said, I'm going to treat you like shit. White people are worthless. I only like Mexicans. Next year, I'm going all Mexicans, or I'm gonna sell the business. I hate white people. It's these young kids. They're so entitled. It's like I treat these Mexican guys like shit. They don't care. They're making six figures. The white people, they never make that much because they aren't efficient. They don't work. They don't have any skills. Then I asked him, "All right, how old are you?" He's like, "I'm 30." So he's literally a 30-year-old boomer. He basically told me he was going to treat me like shit, and I've been told that by somebody before, and the guy was being honest. He treated me like shit, and I made it 10 months, which was much longer than most people lasted in that job. I take pride in lasting longer than average in any job that I'm in, but I still have been in a lot of jobs. That's a stat not a lot of people know, is that millennials stay in jobs longer than boomers and Xers. Like, we actually don't job hop, even though that's one of the complaints. We're also less entitled than boomers. These are all scientific facts. So basically, anytime a boomer complains, they're projecting, including 30-year-old boomers who will tell you that they're going to treat you like shit.
Yeah, but I think
They're like surprised they can't find people.
I think I told you this. Like my grandfather was talking to me, and he was saying like, oh, how little he made doing X when he was, and I was like, okay, let's look up how much that was. And he's like, oh no, you don't need to do that. And I was like, oh, no, let's just see. Oh, it turns out that was the equivalent of making $65,000 a year. That part-time job you had. That's that's interesting, right? That's a good thing to know, right? And he didn't have an answer. He was just pissed off, right?
Pissed off that you would even dare to talk back to your elders. Respect your elders. There was a super chat. Somebody saying he wishes he could watch the whole stream, and he's looking forward to the replay. Love your streams, dudes, but he's also leaving, so we may be back to just us in a second here. Thank you, Christ.
If anyone's listening, which is one person, do you have any questions? Send us questions so we have more topics.
They might not have either of our phone numbers or a YouTube account.
Go to Aeoli's blog and put it on the post. Like, you know.
I won't approve the comment.
Go delete it instantly.
Melonheads only. If you don't know where to send your comments, then I can't be bothered.
We'll send you to hell.
I don't. Maybe that's a Melonhead power I don't have yet.
No, everyone has that power. You just need to buy a gun.
Disavow is what I meant.
So we've probably bitched about like that enough.
We can bitch about other stuff. That's the best possible content.
But what have you found out about coding? You know something about like codes?
Yeah, you put the codes in and it opens the chest, and then you're like, you found the treasure.
You know how to hack Fortnite?
The treasure was inside the dragon.
You can give me all the skins.
That's right. You defeat your dragon of chaos, and you get the loot box. And inside the loot box is female approval.
Oh, wow. That's stunning. And brave.
I think Nietzsche said something about this that was quoted by Solzhenitsyn. And that's when I BTFO'd Ben Shapiro. So somebody had to, apparently this is normie news, but Ben Shapiro self-owned on Twitter. He basically said something to the effect that his wife hadn't gotten wet since they were married, and then Twitter made fun of him. So that was kind of fun. Fuck that guy.
Why would he say that? Is he retarded?
No, he didn't say that. He just set himself up like on the T for T-ball for that joke. It wasn't actually that bad. Like Biden says worse stuff literally every day.
Have you seen the stuff with Corn Pop and the chains?
I don't know about the chains, but I remember Corn Pop. My favorite is the Metal Gear Solid 2 meme.
That's peak Biden. I don't care. I can't be forced to care about this election.
I will force you to make a prediction. I will bet you that Biden wins.
We did this last time. I said, by all rational metrics and polls and statistics and demographics, Biden should win. But yet, I still think Trump's going to win, and I'm not a fan of Trump.
Jordan Peterson is also predicting that. I'm going to predict the opposite because I have a conspiracy theory to the contrary now that I got from Fash the Nation. Oh, that reminds me. I have a long-ass clip that I could just play into my microphone like a fucking retard. Do you want to listen to, 12 minutes of Fash the Nation on 1.5 speed?
No. Just sum it up.
All right, so the deal is that the way political operatives are moving right now tends to indicate that Trump is not in favor. So the shot may be, and this could just be the right stuff people trying to demoralize people so they don't vote, which is a good use of their political power. So that they have a motivation to be wrong here, but they might be right. The shot might be that by getting rid of Trump for term 2, they attach him to white nationalist type ideas, and then they use that as so by attaching him to that and then having him lose, those ideas are discredited. So they say, oh, look, nobody liked the white nationalism bit now because they could have him go ham on that in the last couple months, but not enough that he would actually get reelected.
I doubt that so much. It's not even funny. I think that's incredibly stupid. I'd be amazed. I would be literally amazed if that's what happens. If he goes any further Look, I'd be amazed if he goes as far right as he did in 2016.
No. He's not going to go that far, but he only has to go a little bit so they can attach that stigma to him, and then say, "All right, so that those ideas failed. This is a what do they call that? This was a referendum on white nationalism."
It doesn't even make any sense because even if Trump's entire campaign he was talking about nothing but like sucking like cock, he'd still be anti-homosexual in the eyes of the left. Even if all he talked about was literally giving free money to black people, he'd still be a white nationalist to the left. It doesn't actually.
How does that go against the narrative of his loss being a referendum on white nationalism? We need to round these people up. Because everybody agrees that the only bad thing, he'd be a one-term president. It's like the new Nixon.
You see, okay, that's true. They hate him, and yeah, again, it's true. But isn't it much more powerful if the horrible, evil, racist, white nationalist starts some giant, pointless fucking war after, he let coronavirus destroy the American economy?
Why can't Biden do the war?
Because then Biden's the ass fuck.
I don't think anybody would care. They're so disingenuous. They actually would not care.
You might be right. You very well could be right about that. I just like to think these people are moderately intelligent, not the people who vote or the people of the Democratic Party, but the people above all that. And I just think that because of Trump. The Trump phenomenon itself was so genius.
What? Yeah, it was impressive.
And so, I think that they should, do a good. And also, I've been involved with the stock market enough at this point to be able to tell you that as much as all these people pretend to be incompetent, they're really not.
Which ones are we talking about?
I'm talking about like all of them. All the people.
Everybody on Wall Street like yelling into their phones?
Oh, no. Okay. All the people in Congress who act like they're retarded.
Oh.
When it matters, they all know exactly what to do. And, they could just be getting orders, but that doesn't matter, right? I'm just saying. Guess what?
So is this
when competence matters.
So they don't actually just take direct bribes, they just get insider tips?
I don't know what it is. I'm just saying, okay, the entire country jumps up in riots and everyone loses their mind. I sleep. The stock market went down 5%. Don't worry, guys. New stimulus bill immediately.
I'm not making the jumps here.
It's not just that. Okay, when it comes to anything, okay, everyone's gone. There's only two people, just me and you watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's great.
All right. I'm still not making the jumps here. So you're saying that the people in Congress pretending to be stupid. Do you think Kamala Harris is pretending to be stupid? Pull your energy together, man.
What I'm saying is when they need to get something done, they get it done. And let's not even use the word competence. Let's just use the term getting something done at all, because that's how incompetent the Congress is it's not just, oh, they did the wrong thing. By and large, it's, as we've seen with our side, supposedly our side, it's they just don't do anything at all ever, right?
Right.
Guess what? When they need to do something, as in it lines their pockets, they absolutely are, oh, they're so competent, and oh, it's getting done right now, and it got done. Oh, it's already done.
So the incompetence, do you think it's a conscious act? That would be my best guess, actually.
Yeah, I do.
How do they read that? It must be a psychopathy thing, that they're able to read the rules of the game and then come together. I can't imagine that they talk about it explicitly.
I think they do.
I'm sure
Because
that
if you
Chuck
turn on,
Schumer and his ilk, but
look, and I don't know if it's their handlers or them, but I think we're confusing, and it's almost certainly intentional that they want people to think that they're all stupid retards. I don't think Mitch McConnell's a retard, and as much as Trump acts like a retard, he's not at all a retard.
That's an easy case to make because Trump is not a retard.
Right. And yet, he's like one of the greatest examples of a smart guy acting like a retard.
Well, that's one of those rules of power that I read about in that book once.
Yeah. I guess it's just a way to stop anger because if you're oh so competent. And I think this is why people like me are mad at Trump, right? Is because he did that early on as he acted all competent and stuff. And then he slowly backed off and got people adjusted to the new norm where he's like some senile grandpa. And in some ways, he's actually now becoming a senile grandpa, right? Because he's like fucking 72, 73. So, his mental faculties are definitely actually reducing.
So that he's saying, I haven't been following it and I wish her well. I met her lots of times in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I think that was a fuck up on his part. Like he wanted to signal, he wanted to signal that he was, whatever. He's part of the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone recognizes that was laying it on way too thick. And so that was a sign that, he is declining because that was not socially graceful in any way. And it could only hurt him. Unless he's trying to throw the election. Which we'll see. We'll see quite soon if that is true.
Do you think it? I'm trying to figure how the potential voter fraud thing factors into everything. Like, if he were trying to throw the election and if he were instructed to hit the canvas, would they still be doing the mail-in voter fraud stuff? I would think yes, and I think the idea behind that is just to get people used to that as a new normal. That was another bit of my fascination, was trying to figure, like, why on earth would they try to delegitimize the democracy by making it obviously a sham? I can't remember what conclusion they came up with, other than the purpose is to demoralize. That's my instinct. I don't think that was their reason.
Well, yeah, I think they're just trying to break people.
Which it appears to be working.
Of course. You're atomized. You're out of work. You have to wear a mask out in public all the time. You don't have an extended family, or really even a family. There's no hope at all.
No friends. You're not allowed to go to church. I can't even go man up and marry those sluts.
Yeah, that's funny that people were talking like 5 or 6 years ago that would be an option for them. It's like, no, you don't make 100,000 a year.
All right, so we're looking at collapse probably sooner than we were thinking. So, should we start to delineate what people actually need to do first?
If you want, I mean, I'm kind of just here talking to you.
It does feel like you're kind of checked out.
Yeah, I am.
That's okay. I don't want to do 3 hours this time. I only wanted to do 2 hours max today, and that was regardless of how much engagement we were getting. But
yeah, no, it's fine to do these, and then we can just when one's good, it's good, and then people can be told that it's good, and they can listen to it and experience it, and get the information from it. Like the one last week was so good after it got started at like around 45 minutes or whatever, that it was better than a blog post in terms of its information density. Like better than several blog posts. So, and that's purely because like I have the kind of brain or whatever where if you give me prompts, I can do pretty well. But coming up with new stuff, like, oh, we're going to talk about X. No, that's not how I work. I want to just think about the thing that I'm working on right now. But I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
Because it's not done.
Oh, I know what the thing is now.
It's several things. I can tell you, I was reading your blog again, as I do, reading back through the archives, and I got to this old post called Bullshit, I think, and had some comments by Heavyside on it. And they triggered me to have to write something else. So now I have to write that.
That doesn't sound like it would have been a good post. The bullshit one, I mean.
No, it wasn't. It was worthless. But he was talking about how we need to put. Well, I have it right here. I could read you his comment.
Is it good? I don't want to shit on people.
I'll shit on whoever I want, but this was literally 5 years ago. So I'm not shitting on him because this was fucking over 5 years ago. Game will not fix any of society's problems. Instead, we should plant stimocevers in women to make their desires subject to rational, central planning. It's not lunacy, it's progress. This is him responding to your comment on it. You might not like the idea of electronic behavior modification, but you are already attempting to subordinate your own brain to rational planning and control through a technical description of personality. So is Koenig. So is everyone who attempts to engage in self-improvement, especially the quantified kind. Eventually, everyone will be able to reprogram their personalities through a USB port at the base of their skull. FedGov already does it in limited trial programs. Soon people will complain that their health insurance only partially covers the cost of mind control chips. Why be a loser when you could be a winner? Why be lazy when you could choose to be productive? Why be depressed when you could be happy all the time? Why be an autist when social facility is just a click away? I think I can stop now. There's a lot more of this.
I can't tell if he's shit posting.
I don't think he is at all because this goes on for a long time. You can look it up. It's called Bullshit. It's from.
I don't want to read my old posts.
It's from July 8th, 2015.
It's a worse fate than death. Maybe that's why I can never remember anything I wrote in the past. It's like the searing light of the truth burns me. It's like this is the way that I used to be.
Right. Well, what I originally wrote was really mean, but then I was like, actually, this is.
Let's just technolize. That's all he's saying.
Yeah. Well, then I was like, wait, this is important, and this is actually, it comes to a line of thought that I've given a lot of thought to, and so I should just write a full-on post about it.
And so that's your thing.
Yeah, and I was supposed to do that. I was like, I don't want to, but I have to do that before I can keep going on the going back through all your posts thing.
Autism must be really hard. I think they make a pill for that now.
I'm not autistic.
Well, maybe just in comparison to me, Mr. Melonhead, social facility guy, who nonetheless is unemployed and never sees people or leaves his apartment, except for to do his autistic exercise. I actually could have talked to people today, but I didn't because I didn't have time. But I could have. That's key.
If not now, when? It's the Talmud. Oh, what a glorious book.
Does it actually say that in that phrasing? Because that sounds super American.
Yeah. I think it's about the return of Moshiach, though.
Wait, so it said that since 500 AD?
I don't know.
If not now, when?
I saw that on a book.
Yeah, later, I guess.
I saw that on a book, as it said, if not now, when, and it said the Talmud, So that's in there somewhere.
Imagine reading books in the current year.
Bleh. Imagine the current year.
No, thank you.
There is someone listening. Hello, person out there, all alone.
I like to imagine them smoking a pipe, because that's
Probably
what
smoking.
for me.
They're smoking crack while listening to this.
So coming out about normal.
Yeah.
Energy.
Maybe we can convince them to leave. Leave us alone. We don't want anyone on the live stream.
Confirmed for true autist.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the live stream on a projector into a mirror, and then watch the reflection from the mirror on a wall while talking to you, surrounded by mirrors, while watching Sam Vaknin talk about narcissism.
Just conversing with the conversation between us, like you did the previous 400 days, just having the same conversations with the same recordings.
Yeah, we can do podcasts where we just watch the old podcasts, and then do podcasts on us watching the watch of the old podcast. Just ad infinitum.
All right, joke over.
This is my
I
favorite
declare.
part. What?
It's a joke over. I declare it.
Okay. Come here, kitty. Come here, you fat pussy.
Do you want to do Obadiah's pickup reality show request?
Yeah, God. What about it?
Well, I mean, he did say it was his dream.
Well, we're going to drink shrimp and white wine and vomit all over ourselves.
I don't remember that being part of it, but the people must get the entertainment they demand. Meet up with Roger Stone, and he shows us the ropes, and then we fuck his wife.
Oh, the person finally left. Oh, thank God. Now it's just us.
We can talk about nothing.
Oh, there's nothing left to talk about. Oh, the society's just gone.
I have a handwritten list of things to talk about. I just didn't type it up and send it to you.
Oh, wow. How bad.
There's just never enough time in a day to do anything. Oh, thank you, by the way, for that flash drive full of books. I still have that, and I'm using that to compile a list for somebody else to mirror them from archive.org.
For the audience, it was literally just porn, just so you know. He's just being polite.
It was it was all BAP pictures and books. It was BAP fan fiction books previous to his Twitter career. And during, because that's basically his Twitter career.
We don't even have like a Nietzsche anymore. We have BAP.
What if the real Nietzsche is out there toiling in obscurity?
What if the real Nietzsche's out there on a live stream with no people? Hell yeah.
I would probably not be interested in listening to it either. Oh, hey, the thumbs down went away. I don't know how that happened.
I'll do a new one. Now we have a thumbs down.
Maybe it's because I didn't refresh it.
Maybe you can do it. We got 2 thumbs down now. Oh, great. Oh, that's stunning.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, it must have been me.
Oh, now we've got 3. We've got 3 thumbs down now.
Good work, everyone.
Oh, okay. Now this is epic. Now it's only 2. Did you take yours away?
I did, but I'll come back in a second.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to take mine away. That's not good. If anyone shows up, they'll immediately leave.
Why is that bad?
No, you took yours away. You
No, you
asked
took
that
yours
question,
away.
but you still did it.
Click it.
I'm going to click like.
No. I'm going to ban you.
You can't ban me.
I think I can.
You need this cock.
That conversation took a quick turn. We were just talking about likes and dislikes.
Well, someone showed up, so I had to draw them in, right? That's definitely what's going to draw them in.
That's what you Zoomers like, isn't it?
Yeah, you faggots.
With your Fortnite dances and your transgenderism. Well, not anymore. They closed the schools, so we don't do trannies. Or we do Black Lives Matter now. Oh, that's what we have to do. We'll do Black Lives Matter inspired porn casting. We'll watch porn and comment on it. I like this poll. All right, this is getting degenerate. So I can talk about a quick thing that William Owlson told me the other day that I had no idea about. He knows all about like school shit because that was a big deal in his family growing up. So he explained to me that there are different types of schools you go to for different types of degrees, and there are reasons for this.
Wow.
So apparently, if you're getting like a social science degree or some shit where you have to stand out, it's actually a better idea to go to a lower tier state school than something prestigious where you're going to be relatively bad off. So that's like social sciences or teaching or that kind of thing. You want to go to kind of a shittier school, but still university. Everything else, you want to go to whatever offers the best value. For science and that kind of shit, what matters most is your peers, your peer group there. So for that, you actually do want to go to a prestigious school like Harvard and MIT, Princeton, and you can see that in the Putnam exam rankings. Basically, everybody in that has ever scored perfect on that test always came from a name brand school. Very, very occasionally, 1 out of 50, you'll see a state school. And it'll usually be one of the higher tier ones, or a place that has a really good math program.
Yeah, I read your post on that from like 2015, so I'm getting flashbacks to reading that post.
Okay. Well, so that's where you go when you have like a really hard science or math thing that you want to do. And it matters a lot that you're in the best possible peer group for it. But if you basically Harvard is falling apart though, as far as business goes. He was saying like, that's not really where you want to go anymore. Even if you want to get into the State Department, that system's kind of breaking down. So that was kind of cool. And then I think obviously you go to community college to transfer. I think that was the whole bit though. Anyway, that's kind of useful information.
Yeah, I can't see myself ever going back to college, but okay. Maybe someone out there still wants to for some reason.
I'm going to do free online college.
Well, that's what it should be if this country was sane.
I'm getting a free college subscription through my mom because I don't think this is too doxy. She has driven a lot of Uber miles, so she gets free college and she's not using it. It's online through Arizona State, so I'm gonna get that, which is good. A lot of things are working in my favor on the whole learn to code bit, which is good because there are also a lot of things working against me.
So what happens once you learn to code? How do you make money doing that?
That's a great question. I don't know what you do these days. It's probably changed since we did that post back in the day where people were saying you got to learn Angular. I think Angular is completely gone now. You're supposed to learn React now, which is the Facebook one. It's not for Facebook. It's for writing HTML with your basically your JavaScript program runs on your page, and then it is able to write new HTML to the page. So it's able to react. But yeah, as far as jobs go, I'm kind of putting feelers out. I've been working with an ex-coworker on some stuff, but it hasn't been super coding related. It's most administrative work. Hopefully that thing takes off. If it doesn't, I know somebody else who's into data mining and selling off data sets using uh, web scraping, and then you port it into Microsoft Access, basically. And they sell that off. I was already doing that in my old job, and he's like, "Yeah, that thing that you were doing for us, well, that's actually worth some money." So, and I already do that kind of on the side. So, let's talk. So that could work out. There are a lot of seriously bad tech boomers in this area. So if the economy picks back up in the next couple of years, I could actually make websites for them just by going in with a GoPro and being like, "Hey, $100, I'll put some video on your site because there's like no information about what you do here. So let's take video of your machine running so people actually know what your thing is, because there's no video on your site." And then just get that down to a real quick, like, so you could do it for $100. But that would only work if people actually feel like they got money coming in, which it hasn't felt like that since 2016. I've seen companies that went with $0 went for more than a year, $0 revenue. That's how bad it was. Your video's on. You might want to turn that off.
This thing's such a piece of shit.
Turn your video off. Your docs.
I know it's exiting. It won't exit out of it.
Well, the good news is you scared off our only viewer.
No, that's
good. Oh shit! That would be a way easier way to edit this thing. Is if I.
Oh wait, no, the guy's still here because I stopped watching on my laptop. I was like, why am I doing this?
Oh. Okay.
Because there's no comment. So that was the only reason I needed it.
Okay. I'll let you know if more people are on. I am monitoring the chat, ready to ban.
You're monitoring the situation?
I was actually wondering if the guy in here who's Judeo-Christ is the same as the guy that puts up the dark streams.
Mm.
That would be fun. But he's gone. We just have a strange person out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more tobacco products, but I have to sneak.
I thought.
So I don't dox myself.
Oh, okay. I thought you were sneaking so that you could get them without getting any attention drawn to yourself by people who might be like, "You shouldn't smoke right now. You smoke too much." I won't smoke, but I have to earn it. What were we talking about before you doxed yourself?
How you're going to make money coding?
Oh, right. How I'm going to do it. That's something that I still need to look into more serious. Being in the process of getting a engineering degree is going to help out a little bit because it's got more heft than just like learning to code JavaScript on the internet, which is literally everybody else at the same time. I mean, if you get a software engineering degree, you're still competing with Pajits, but it's better than being a script kiddie from the internet with a certificate. Not that that's entirely a bad thing. It's just a really hard sell. That's for like corporate jobs, junior development type stuff, which based on quick looking at Monster and Indeed and stuff, doesn't really exist like it used to. Kind of the way we were talking about with the HVAC stuff. Those jobs, the good ones, don't really exist there anymore. You pretty much cap out at $26 an hour.
Where is there opportunity anymore?
Unemployment grift?
I mean, if that's it, I guess.
Well, the thing that I'm doing with my ex-coworker, who I suppose is just a regular coworker now because we're still working together. That is youth sports for rich people. I can't get any more specific than that. That is already too specific. But offering services to rich people to help get their kids to places where they will continue to be around other rich people is not a bad industry to be in right now.
No, I just smoked a really shitty cigar, and now I'm going to smoke a really good one, just because I don't know why.
To celebrate our 2 watchers.
There's 2 people?
There's 2.
Oh, there's 1.
Well, are you back on your laptop?
No.
There's 3 watching.
So, oh, well, that's exciting.
Celebrating right now.
Maybe we can just like talk private, honestly.
I'd be down with that, but let's at least give person number 2 another 15 minutes before we do.
Okay.
But I haven't gotten any text from Ken or Lizard King this time around. 0 engagement. So yeah, we should answer that question. Where is there opportunity now? I think that there's still opportunity in consumer sales for stuff like survivalism. Like you could probably make money having homesteader parties. You know how you used to do like the Mary Kay makeup sales? And you would have everybody come over to your house and show them your makeup or your Tupperwares or whatever. I think you can do that with water filters now and potato seeds.
Now, how would you beat Alex Jones at that?
Well, the way that typically works is you sell to people in your area who want to buy from somebody that they can hit if they don't like their product, roughly speaking, and you offer them better information. Maybe that sales model is completely gone now. I don't know. The only kind of sales model I actually know is selling to big companies. I assume it's still good, although I never hear about anybody doing it. Now I think about it. No, I take it back. You can still do that with stuff like wine, I know for sure. I bet you could do it with water filters.
You should just start making like arts and crafts on Etsy or something.
It's probably illegal to do that with firearms. I would have to look at it, but I bet you could figure a way. You know how you already have gun shows. I suspect you could do gun shows and make some money. Just rent out a convention center and say, hey, bring your shit. Bring money. I don't know what certifications look like for that kind of thing. So I'm thinking the sorts of things that people are getting into right now, what with the world falling apart around them, you could probably sell to them. So water filters, potato seeds, and firearms. So that's one idea. If I were an entrepreneur, I would basically always be trying to sell to rich people. Sounds like you're taking a shower.
It's just all the bugs.
Jeez. I would be trying to sell nice products to rich people.
That's what literally everyone's doing.
Well, that's because it works. Particularly,
I know.
And I would be selling home improvements to boomers is what I'd be doing. Because for whatever reason, they have gone absolutely nuts with that. They're all buying new properties and renovating their houses, and you would think we were in a boom. I honestly think it's a cope. Or maybe it's something to do with interest rates. I don't really understand how interest rates affect that kind of thing. Well, they are supposed to be 0% right now, right? Did I lose you entirely? Oh, you're there. I just don't hear you. Oh, I hear you now. I was asking, interest rates are 0% right now, right?
They're not, but they're close. They're like 0.75.
So that means you're supposed to spend, right? Which means if you're a boomer, you take out loans and you put value into your house. Are you trying to talk and just unable?
Hello?
Hello?
Let's see.
Okay, I can hear you, but I'm trying to ask you questions and I'm just getting silence back.
Hello?
Hello?
You can hear me?
Yes. You sound different.
All right. I can hear myself on your thing too.
That should be impossible on account of I'm wearing earbuds.
Oh, it's because I was playing it on my phone.
Man, this must be good content because there were 4 people watching for a second.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. Well, now there's 3.
Hello, people. If you have any questions.
Oh, they're gone now. There's 2.
So it was just me.
I know. Well, all right. Well, now I'm all low energy from trying to talk to you and not getting anything back. You want to call it here?
Yeah, this sucks.
Well, I'll have thoughts on it, but when we were talking private. So, thank you, person, for watching. This will go up in an edited form at some point on the BitChute. So, we might do it next week, depending if we can get higher energy somehow.
I think we need to confirm, like, if people are going to listen to it because, you know, I'm just here for the lulz, right? And the info. I'm not here to put on a show, right?
Well, you could be.
Yeah, but that's a waste of my time.
All right. All right, we're out. See you, person. Have a good evening. Try to. Oh shit! I'll drop something high energy in the chat that you can boost back up. That shit show. This is from Boneflower. It's aristocratic AF. It's a music machine somebody made that uses marbles. It's actually really cool.
I think I've seen what you're talking about.
It's actually really cool. It's heartening to see that somebody can make stuff like that. So, with that, we will bid the web you.
Yeah, don't worry. Next week I'll kill myself live on stream, so tune in for that.
All right, but don't turn on your video; it'll dox you. So you'll just have to narrate.